Chum 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 of the month. So I'd like to welcome for this month's Chum of the Month Mr. George Benjamin, composer extraordinaire, with whom I worked on his first chamber opera Into the Little Hill, and who's recently had huge success, well-deserved success, with his full-blown opera written on skin at Covent Garden, amongst other places. George Benjamin.
Hello.
Welcome to Chum of the Month.
Thank you, my dear Hilary.
Now, it was you that first got hold of me.
Yes, very much
to
so.
meet each other.
It's very simple. I went to hear Pierre Boulez conduct Les Noces at the proms, a late night prom, and there you were, and making a noise that I adored, and I found mesmerising in a way I don't think. The only other voice that's done that in that same way to me has been Jessie Norman, that I felt, wow.
I'm so flattered as to that.
I think I love the sound, so I found out who you were and looked at my programme, and I don't know if I think the project for writing Into the Little Hill had already been started, and I think Martin Crimp and I already knew we wanted to write it just for two singers.
Right.
I can you remember the date of that concert?
Well, no, I can't at all, I'm afraid. I'm rubbish with dates anyway.
But then you came round. You came round here.
I absolutely did. Well, is this the process that you always use when you're writing for a specific singer? Do you always invite them in and torture them for the hour? Not that it was that bad, but we did have the very sort of one-on session.
Well, you were the first I ever did this with. The very first I did this with, and since then, yes. And yes,
because
absolutely.
I think it pays dividends because you as the singer can say what you enjoy doing and what you like doing and also what you're capable of doing. And then, some of the questions you asked, I'd not even thought about that in my own voice. I remember you sort of saying, "What about your vibrato? What sort of vibrato do you have?" And I thought, well, naturally, I don't know really. I suppose I could put on the vibrators and take it away.
Here's my notes. Vibrato.
Oh, here we go.
Wonderfully thin pitch ambitus, also fast, so very pleasant. Senza vibrato, beautifully pure. Non vib, poco a poco vib, good.
Lord.
So these are the notes, you haven't seen these, that I took.
Oh, they are meticulous.
Yes,
that is phenomenal.
7 years ago.
The range, look at that.
And there's the low E that I saved up for almost the last moment in the opera. Yeah. And here, also I remember writing down, very wide, ultra disjunct intervals, wonderful. And again, I saved them up for the last, the end of scene 8, for the end of the opera. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean...
That is so beautiful. Gosh, look at that.
So this yeah, it was new for me actually. I'd written for voices before, but never... Yes. I don't know where the idea came from.
Do you like writing for voices?
Yes.
What do you like about voices? Why? Why a voice? Why is that more interesting than... Is it because of the text side of things, do you think?
There's so much. It's... Now that I've found this most wonderful collaborator, Martin Crimp, it's become the priority for me, I suppose.
That's so brilliant.
And therefore, with working with people like you, I think I've began to get to know the voice, which many composers don't get the opportunity of doing, and understanding the complexities, the richness, all the stuff that goes into singing well, and what you can do.
We certainly had to deal with a lot of those. Certainly on our little hill. Did you ever sing yourself as a choir?
Terribly. Composers can't sing, it seems to me.
Go on. What about as in school or anything?
Yes, I sang in a choir. I sang in the Matthew Passion.
As a boy soprano? Or?
No, just as a boy soprano in the choir. Matthew Passion, Messiah.
There we go.
Lots of things. It was really useful for me, but I sing very badly.
I was very lucky at school as well that we did things like Bach and Messiah and things, and I worry that schools don't anymore, and so that school children in choirs are not getting that training of great choral tradition, and they're all just singing Mamma Mia and
But the Church of England tradition of choruses does continue, though, doesn't it?
Yes, that's true. That's
so
very true.
Across the country, there are still these innumerable choirs at a very, very high level, which produce some of our most magnificent male singers, don't they? If not all of them.
Absolutely, that's very true. But what I'm saying is that I went to comprehensive, and I was so lucky that we actually had that going on in our comprehensive. Whereas I suspect in a lot of comprehensives today, they're not even getting Mamma Mia.
Were you a promising singer at school?
Yes.
You showed talent immediately.
I was ready to show off and always wanted to be doing everything, insisting that I was the lead. And
did you want to be a singer as a little person?
I always wanted to be the centre of attention, so if that meant singing, then yes. But I
it's 90%, isn't it?
Yeah. But I was a soprano up until I was about 18, and I did all my grades as a soprano.
Good heavens.
Yeah, I know.
Then what happened?
Well, we realised that, I wasn't probably a soprano, and that actually the core of my voice was much... And I think that's also the case for women's voice. They kind of, you mature into your sound.
And when were your first really serious singing lessons?
Probably in 5th form, so what would that have been, 15, something like that?
At school?
I actually went out. I sort of went out and was paid for by the council to have not peripatetic, but the ones at the Welsh College actually. I went there.
And by the time you were leaving school, was your heart set on being?
No, not at all. I wanted to be a French teacher in the 6th form.
Why is that, Hilary?
I don't know. I enjoyed French. I liked the language, and I thought teaching would be quite a laugh. But I didn't really think that you could make a living in music. I didn't even consider that it would be something that I could do. I wasn't somebody that followed operas and followed bought millions and millions of discs. I loved doing it in school because that's what was put in front of me. But I didn't go out like other friends of mine and seek millions of recordings.
Did you go to see Welsh National Opera?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but I kind of thought, oh yes, I want to be doing.
Can you remember the works you saw?
I do. I remember. I saw Della Jones as Rosina in Barbara of Seville, and I saw an amazing magic flute production. I saw a lovely. I saw tons of stuff.
Modern stuff?
No, nothing modern. But always very into modern in the choir that I was singing with. The Cumbraen Baroque singers, we did a lot of modern repertoire and modern choral stuff, which I absolutely loved. And I'm not that it was particularly modern, but I remember the first time we did the Poulenc Christmas motets, and they were kind of dissonant and weird, and it was just like, oh, this is so exciting, this is so great. And just getting that right and hearing those weird things sounding so perfect was always a big thrill. It was at university, really, because my professor was Peter Wishart at Reading,
yes.
And he was a composer, and he was obviously hugely into modern music, and through his wife there, that's where I got into it. And I've always enjoyed doing it, and I loved the challenge of it, and delighted to have your challenges thrown at me.
Which you fulfilled magnificently.
But I have to say, this Chum has been more about me than about you, which is not ideal.
No, that's the point of a Chum, surely.
Yes, of course. It should always be about me.
Exactly.
So on that lovely note, George Benjamin, thank you very much.
Pleasure.